very far above in a level.
I think that's the reason of the social responsibility that the university has. And we don't not react to a situation. We should know all the context, the neighborhood of the university, and have some connection with them and activity with them, because the university is not out of the society, out of the community, and of the town, the area. That's why we should be continue working with the context, the neighborhood, all the organizations, with the state, the local government, NGO organizations, and community leaders.
Any other comments from the
I would absolutely agree with Lisa, because it was like pulling teeth just to get to Puerto Rico from Texas A&M. It's a tier 1 research institution with how many resources? Granted, we were dealing with Harvey, but at the same time, we weren't doing anything for Puerto Rico, and I couldn't understand it. And it was really frustrating. We had one school, our veterinary medicine school, did go to Puerto Rico in December after the event to work with endangered animals, but not the people. So I give them credit for that, because that's fantastic. I hadn't thought about it, because that's an important resource as well. But I learned watching the people in Puerto Rico and my own frustration that sometimes the person we're waiting for is ourselves. And so we stood up and we went and did something.
Yes.
A comment on what Lisa was saying, and I was going to ask more or less what you were going to. I think that universities, in order for Lisa's work to be effective, we need to build relationship of trust and long-term relationships of trust with the local communities. And universities, and the experience that I have seen, Hurricane Maria and other disasters, universities have to acknowledge the role that they have within their local community. Now, thinking of what you were mentioning, how can we, or what feedback do you plan to have, how can we tackle the marble towers of tier 1 universities that are sitting on the largest budgets, to first acknowledge that we do have this social responsibility, second, to engage with their own local community, like why you see San Francisco didn't help, or how much was the role in the participation of mitigating the impact of parallels, for example. How can these marble towers acknowledge their role within their local communities and not just the savior complex is going to save other people elsewhere? So what kind of comment do you have on that process of building relationships of trust?
There's two things in my specific situation. One, it's very important that you understand I come from the Division of Student Affairs, not academic affairs. So I'm not doing research, which means I have more flexibility. And my particular institute, it's an international awareness institute. I made the argument that Puerto Rico was an international location. I was able to make that argument because there's international insurance for traveling for students, and Puerto Rico is one of those locations. So know the lay of the land, understand what tools you have at hand. Don't tell me about what you don't have. Look at what you do have, and that's navigate those resources, right? The other thing is you have to make it personal. You have to make it personal. I work with children in the foster care system and residential treatment centers, and inevitably in the community, they tell me, not my kid. I need to focus on my own family. I don't have time to pay for that. Well, you will later when they end up incarcerated, because it'll be your tax dollars paying for them. So we can do it now, or we can do it later. So those individual stories are incredibly important. And I literally go door to door at my institution because I know who the people are, because I've taken that time. And somebody has to put forth the effort. But I find my people, my tribe, and I start talking to them because, as this fantastic person said, my community is not your community, it's not your community, but together we're our community. Because I may know someone, and you may know someone, and together we make these amazing opportunities for a relationship. And that's actually how I navigate the system, working from all the multiple colleges that we work with. But it does take more time and more effort. But those personal stories are incredibly important. Backed up with quantitative data, because research institutions need the data, which I understand and I
that, she has the knowledge of her institution, but then someone or something, for some reason, got her to care. How do we get these people who need and can move resources to care? That's what I would say. I would say, how is it that you build coalitions between institutions? It's putting them together in a room, which is what Cecilio and Marla have done with all of us. So putting people in a room, getting them to talk to each other, going out for coffee, sitting down to have a drink. Those things work. And that's also why we go to these academic conferences, why we go to any gatherings at all when we're doing specific work. And it's because it's these face-to-face interactions, this reason to care has to come from somewhere, and it has to come from someone that's in a position to do something about it. That's why I think it's so crucial to know politics in the situation, such as what you were mentioning. I didn't know that there was this clique. And knowing that there's a clique is super important if you're going to walk into an area. So getting people within the institutions that you think need to be there to talk to each other, to connect, I think that's something that we can do directly. Is I know someone, she knows someone, they know someone. How do we move people within our 6 degrees of separation and get them to talk to each other?
And I want to add on, I don't mind going into a situation where I know someone isn't directly caring and show them the marketing of that video, because that makes it look so good. And then the resources will follow. That's why I'm here. My institute was actually founded on oil money, and I'm at a climate change institute, or a conference. I mean, the humor's not lost on me on that one. but that's not beneath me. I understand what's important to them, and I show them how what I'm doing has that facet of what's important to them.
I think that also it's a combination of other community, the community that need the people that are affected by the disaster. If you can gather, you can organize, and you can talk among each other, you can also use that to mobilize and go to different places like the university or your local government and like strike or try to like impose and show that these things are happening. And similar to what I said in what I wrote, I think that when I went to Corcovado and Mariana, one of the things that most impacted me was that they've been organized for so long. And they share a vision, and they share a mission. And yeah, a lot of things have happened, ups and downs, like every community. We all do it in the university, with our families, with our neighbors, ups and downs come. But in moments of crisis, unity, right? And when there's no money, your best resource is your people. So I think that also using those, like being aware that people is, as a person, you also have a capital, and that's almost as similar to money, that can also help you advance whatever goals your community has, right? Because one size doesn't fit all. And for some, you have to play different, like Corey was saying, like you have to use international money. For some, we are a territory. We don't need to use international money because we're part of the U.S., but those are the different mechanisms that we have to use, and that's how you have to navigate the system. So it's also like sitting with communities, doing this different types of workshops, giving them tools, like co-producing stuff, writing, knowing how to write a grant. I kid you not how important it is to know how to write a grant so that they can bring solar panels and use like events like this to advance more things. It looks simple. A poster presentation, something as simple as a poster or like this beautiful video that almost made me cry. Like, you can use that, and then boom, you can receive funding for X, Y, and Z. So it's being aware of those little things that will make the long run. And the university has a lot of resources, and we as people inside of the university or outside of the university should be pushing and should be knocking on doors of professors, because at the end of the day, as taxpayers, we are, at least for state universities, we are the ones that are paid with our work.
Another question or comment? Okay, I have some questions.
Yeah, how do you see the relationship between the building an economic future for the community, like, leverage more the way of life of that community, and actually having resources for a disaster in a community, right? How do you think that the role of the university is? Because of developing, right? Economic development in the community, and being at the same time having the resources to be all right, prepared for a disaster. Because I think that they both are very important and almost the same one, kind of. And that's what we live in Mariana. So sometimes we talk about how the university can help in those disasters, but there's a university in Humacao, and there's a university in different parts that sometimes don't talk to the community. And building that relationship, I think it's really important, right? It's a long run. It's not only just like going there and leave. Right? How do you see that? The role in the university.
In the case of Mariana, one of the professors of the University of Puerto Rico, and then she goes to University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras campus. She lived in Mariana, and she was one of the leaders of the community since many years ago, and she worked in different challenges that the community had done. And the faculty and the students from the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras campus, have students from social work. Every semester they go there, they prepare and organize and transfer knowledge by workshop activities, and the involvement of the students continue until this time. That's why it's very important that the university began to work with the community, continue the work. The students change, but the community leaders, we call them the maestro, the teacher of the community, the facilitator of the community, they are there, and they continue working, and when the students go there, support what they are doing. We don't go there to say that what the community has to do, but that's why it's very important to have that connection and continue the connection with the community, supporting and collaborating with them. And that's the way that we improve our curriculum, and we improve our classes, we improve our knowledge, but the popular knowledge of the community and the experience that we had received from that experience. That's why it's not go a semester and administrate a questionnaire or have activity or workshop and then go out, and that's it. That's why some communities, at least in Puerto Rico, have their reject attitude toward the university, because sometimes the university go take all the information for them, for the credit, for the activity of the student, and don't continue supporting and collaborating with the community.
So we have a movement in Texas. It's with our Higher Life Extension Service, and it's all about revitalizing the rural communities. So we have a specific arm that's associated with the university that is going out county to county, city to city, town to town, and sitting down and talking with the community leaders and writing down their hopes and dreams and what they need, and trying to connect that back to the university itself. Because you're right, if we don't look at the economic development of the people in those smaller areas, then we are not preparing them for disasters that will inevitably come their way. And so that is the way that Texas A&M is approaching it right now, and I have a fantastic colleague that is spearheading that with it. Even from local museums, making sure that we recognize the culture of that smaller community, because those are the ones that feel left behind, especially in our political situation as we have it today.
I want to share an experience recently. We collaborated many years ago with Guayabota in Yabucoa, and after Maria, and then they said to us, we are ready, we can continue working. If we need your collaboration, we will call you. After Maria, they called us. They called us and said, I need your collaboration, and then we began to collaborate with them. It's a way the community leaders have their power to decide when we can collaborate with them, when we need, they need our collaboration, and when is, okay, it's not.
I would like just to add real quick before another question. As a student, I feel sometimes frustrated because some of the things that I can bring is just words. And as a social scientist, I can bring theories, or I can bring like the role of social capital, this is so great, this is what the communities are doing. And then when questions like that about economics, right, that like money and how important is that, for example, for the people of Puerto Rico, as I previously said, that 45% of them are below the poverty level, which means that 45% of them have a minimum annual income of $10,000. So imagine you living for having $10,000 for a whole year with a family of 4 kids. It's or less, exactly, or less. So it's very difficult. But I do think that, and it's similar to what Angelica was saying before, our positionality, or like what guides us, and at least for me, what I want to do with my PhD, with my thesis, is to try to like be in Puerto Rico, or this could be in another thing, but for me personally, is to be in Puerto Rico and try to find a work that not only can serve my purpose and my personal gains as my tenure track goal is, but also provide something valuable, tangible to the community. And that's why I said previously, like the writing workshops and the poster presentations and all these different things, because those things from the social scientists are the small things that or advising, for example, are things that I've heard other friends and me do that are little, but that the community can later take and use and be like, hey, hey, Maximo Solar, which is a energy company, this is what we're doing. Let's collaborate to advance our community and have solar panels. Or, hey, Fundación Puertorriqueña, which is a nonprofit foundation dedicated to sustainable universities. This is what our community is doing. Like, those things, in a sense, legitimize the work that people like you and the community are doing for so long in a paper way to advance. That's the only way that I can do it, because I also live in Arizona. I'm not in Puerto Rico, right? And I'm only going to Puerto Rico, sadly, on summers and on December. So there's very limited things that you can do from the university, but I think that those tangible products, those papers translated into this other type of community reports or posters or whatever can aid in advancing economic development when members of the community meet with other people from the financial sector or the government sector to try to advance their goals.
So coming to an end of our time,
Can I say
uh,
something?
super quick, I really like that question. You touched on something that's really important to me, because what good does it do for us to sit around and say, okay, so yeah, populations that are poor have worse resilience. They publish that, and so what, right? And that's always what my question is, how do you move that to action? What do you do then? And I think that from our disciplines, we all have something that we can contribute. And the way that I am thinking about it is, for example, I keep going back to the fact that I think food is missing from a large part of this conference. Very few people are talking about food. Food is important. Food is very closely tied to climate change. Food is crucial. And food is every day, we all have to eat. So one of the most important things that you guys did, one of the first things you did, was put together a place where people would sit and eat. And that has to do with everything. It has to do with actual nourishment. It has to do with cultural nourishment. It has to do with emotional stability. There's so much that it has to do with. So, from my perspective, I think thinking about what I can do is, I have access maybe to I have access to data from the Department of Health, and I'm going to be doing this analysis. But what happens when I'm done with that analysis? I think that it's also my responsibility to sit and do something about it, and move forward with policy proposals, or move forward and try to get things actually to change within the distribution of aid in Puerto Rico, for example, or even in the rest of the United States. These ready-to-eat meals that we're distributing to people, these bags of Skittles that people got from FEMA, instead of having actual nourishing food. I think that's something that I can maybe touch on. But that's something that's happening on a me level. And I wonder, as universities, how do we get that to happen on an us level, on a we level? I don't know. That's a really important challenge. Thank you.
Okay, I think there's a long way for universities to come to terms with what has to be done in a systematic and systemic way. There are initiatives from different units that fortunately have been able to go ahead and do whatever they thought, but sometimes they are point-based interventions. Like I always ask, what is it that the university can do that no one else can do in society? So sometimes we wind up bringing food. Okay, that's fine, but there's a lot more that the university can and should be prepared to do in a more systematic way. And we always come back to the need to have long-term planning, long-term collaborative relationships with communities and internally within because for the economic development part, maybe social work has to collaborate with the business school and with the planning school, because this is out of the scope of the training and the capacities of one particular department or discipline, or the role that the person has within the university, which we stretch so that we can do, more things for the university at the end. So I guess the lesson from this panel is that university, also the difference between the university community, which is students, professors, and workers at the university, and the difference and structure of the university, which is a lot slower and a lot more difficult to change. But using these spaces, as Corey was saying, navigate with the tools that you have can sometimes, or is usually a good way to open up spaces, even if small, and then just amplify them, and keep working there, like keep chipping at the rock until you have your space. So thank you very much for your participation and being with us for this afternoon.